welcome back to another exciting episode of The Bench. Here at Barn Built RC, you see a array of things. Exactly what they are, things, alright? This is going to be a short video, not too long. Try not to get too in-depth, even though we go off the rails around here. This is a quick video of steering away from showing you trucks all the time and other stuff, whatever. And we've been on the crawler kick, okay? And we still are on the crawler kick. We are going to get into other things as springtime gets a little better. Right now, it's pretty ugly out there. Toasty in here for the time being. I hope I turn my heater off, because if that kicks on, I will have to run and go take care of that. Yeah, we are not going to have a video if that happens. So, anyhow, you see what's on the table. There's just parts. Oddball parts, different things, just junk, right? Well, in this episode, I'm just basically going to break down, not really break down, but explain that if you're into the RC hobby, whether it be planes, helicopters, boats, it could be off-road racing, circle track dirt racing, on-road racing, crawler, etc., the list goes on, okay? And you like to tinker around, and you like to play around, and you just like want to do stuff, but it's like, man, I got to buy this, I got to buy that, or things that you can't buy. That, you got to make something happen, but you don't always want to have the weight of steel or aluminum of cutting that out. And of course, wood, it's not really a thing unless you're building a balsa wood airplane. So, as you can probably well tell what we're going on, we're going forth on 3D printing, okay? If you're into the hobby and you're that deep and you're getting into it and you want to do stuff and change things and make stuff happen, take the little bit, I wouldn't say a little bit, but take a little more spending money that you have in your hobby. Put some aside a little bit. You can get, for $300 roughly, a 3D printer, minus filament and all the other stuff, whatever. As long as you have a laptop computer that'll run the slicer programs you need to create the parts. Tinkercad is free if you're creating. It's not a killer CAD design program that you would pay for, but it's enough to do whatever you need to do. You don't have to get completely crazy with this stuff. Can if you want. You don't have to. A lot of this on the table here is basically stuff that you can search up on, like MakerWorld, Thingiverse, general search engines for 3D print files that you can print without having to sit there and design your own thing. 90% of this is, I think I've selected everything here that's basically click and print. That was my idea. I have other stuff that I've made myself. I don't have a lot of that sitting here, mostly just to show you guys out there, if you haven't got into this side of hobby, and this is a hobby in itself, it can be. I make stuff for the wife. Like right now, she wants these little totes, basically like a Lowe's tote, but she wants colored lids, so I don't have pink filament. So she's going to have to buy her own darn filament. So I got greens, blues, black, gray. I do a lot in black, just because a lot of stuff is under the hood, and a lot of this was when I first got the printer and I tested a lot of things. Black is pretty cheap. Some of it's PLA, some of it's the PETG, a little bit stronger, a little more UV, temperature resistant, without getting into the exotics of like PC or ABS, etc., etc. I'm not here for a 3D tutorial with you. I'm just going to show you what you can do and make your life with the hobby easier as you build, create, change things on your vehicles, to where you don't have to go to the store and buy it or order it all the time and this and that. Like an hour or two later, you got your part. You may have to do a little bit of changing, a little hacking, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. But for the most part, you could have something made in your weekend and have it all put together. That's the idea of this. Of course, learn your materials and things of that nature. Again, this is not a 3D tutorial. This is to show you what you can do just by clicking and printing. Now, everything you click on that's designed by certain people are designed for their printer. They could have a Bamboo. They could have a Creality or whatever. I have an Adventurer 5M. A buddy of mine sold me a very reasonable price. I guess he's getting something different. I don't even know what he got yet. Just making room. he lives in a small apartment and he's got all these 3D printers, and he's just like, man, I'm going to get rid of this one and change up. I'm like, he's like, you know, you want this one for X amount? And I'm like, absolutely. Like, let's do this. So it's turned into its own world. We'll put it that way. And most of the stuff here is RC hobby, and I'm going to go over through the stuff, and we're going to dive into it. I don't have a lot of my color stuff out here. Recently, like I've been doing a lot in the black, just because, like, again, testing. You're going to have to learn your slicer, because you can pick, you know, like the simple jack stand here. Okay, this didn't print terribly bad. I mean, it could be better, but you're going to mess with your settings. And you have to learn your settings in the slicer part of the 3D printer to make it better or worse. Some things will just print like total trash because they're designed for that person's printer or their filament, and et cetera, et cetera. There's things that you're going to have to change as you go along. So there's going to be trial and error in this. No doubt about it, there will be trial and error. But when you figure out your machine and figure out what you need to do to change this, change that, you become more familiar with it as time goes on. You know, it takes time to gain that experience. You can start printing stuff that comes out decent, that you're happy with, because it's not a showpiece. Most of everything I have printed here, except for my ramps. Most stuff here, I don't care what it looks like. It doesn't have to be a mirror finish. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's usable. It's usable parts for the most part. Like the jack stands are just screw around stuff, things of that nature. But I'm going to go through all this and explain what everything is if you don't know. But you could print everything from goofy stuff to actual parts to more scale stuff to tools. All right, there's even tools, and I'm not saying print a ratchet. All right, no, but I mean, you know, certain tools and things that you would use in the RC world, they can come in handy. It's just really, it's a cool thing to get into, and it can take your RC hobby to the next level in your own home, and just doing your own thing and whatever. I mean, it's expanding your hobby. That's the words we're looking for. All right, we're getting somewhere now. So we're not dragging this on too much. Let's get into what you can build. Okay, and like, well, what I have here in front of me. I got other stuff. I can't find it all in a pinch. So this is what I got laying around out here. So like, let's look for tools. I should have organized this a little bit better, but hey, here we are. But again, tools. All right, tool holder. This green thing back here. It's 3D printed. There's another one over yonder. I'm not going to dig it out. Parts tray. As you can well tell, I still have the parts in it from a recent build. If anybody can tell what some of those parts are, you know what I was putting together. I'm not going to let that one out because that's going to be a video. So, but yeah, parts tray. This tub is not printed. I didn't print this tub. I have other ones that I'm printing, but not that particular one. Tool storage, all right? Don't look like much. What could it be? All right, you know, you're working on RCs. You got small pliers, things of that nature. It's exactly what it's for. It's a plier holder. Mounted to the wall. Got recessed screw spots in it, mounted to the wall, bam. And it's just made out of PLA. This ain't even PTEG. I'm just like, I don't care. I'm not, it is what it is. It's not going to hurt nothing. It's going to get used. Every little slot, whatever you want to put in there. So you got a plier holder. Go the tool zone, all right? This one here printed a little crappy. This is where one of the first tools I've actually printed, and I had to do some sanding on it. It didn't go well. I didn't have my settings right, but is it affecting function? Absolutely not. So I don't care. I haven't even finished putting it together yet. I gotta put grub screws in it. So what this is basically just an equalizer for your links when you're putting links together. So if I'm doing two lower links in a vehicle, or two turnbuckles in a vehicle, whatever size it may be, it goes down about that small. Flip it over, it'll probably go smaller. But put the grub screws in there, you put your links in there, and this little gauge here, it's nothing high tech, by no means. But if you're off, you put a little tension on it, and now you can see if you're off or not on your links, and you can adjust them. Your links will be, links, turnbuckles, whatever you're running, will be exact same length. Whatever that length needs to be, but they will be exactly the same when you put them in the vehicle. So, printed, I forget, 3 hours? 3 or 4 hours maybe, something like that. I mean, printer's not fast. especially if you want to have quality. I printed this one a little quick, so it did have some goobers, and I was learning other things. So, but anyway, that's mostly what I have out here for tools, I'm pretty sure. I don't really have much else. But if you're into the crawling world, all right, or anything for that matter, let's go for the anything, all right? Anything, this little tub here, again, I didn't 3D print the tub. It's got cereal in it. All these little critters. You know what they are? Spacers. Everything from a 1/2 mil to 6 to 8 mil, etc. So I think I might even have 10s in there. Print it out all different ones. And I mean, I'm going to learn by my mistake. I'm going to print one size at a time. So that way when I get them off the build plate, I can put them not in a big mess like this, because this was all printed on one plate. And I'm like, well, that was stupid, because now organizing sucks, because I got to separate every one of them. So we're not doing that again. Do it one by one, and then you just dump them in a tray. Boom, you got them. Here's a different style. There's different settings. You can put these little, like, I forget what they call them, but it's a little base for them. And those are spacers. It's just, they're on a little rack. They just touch each other and stick together, and they're spacers. So now these, depending on your internal diameter, I don't know if the camera's going to pick that up or not, or if I could even get it in frame. If I stop bending it, maybe. You can see the difference in the internal diameter. These are 3 mil. These are more like a 4 or 4.5, something of the sort. I forget. These are technically a shock spacer. So if you're into dirt oval, carpet, whatever you got to do, like these are internal shock spacers to limit your shocks internally. That's why they got a bigger hole. So those go over there. These are just general spacers, 3mm screw. You can make them 4 mil. You can expand things, change things. All comes with experience. But I don't have to go to the store and buy them. I don't have to spend buku bucks on aluminum. Why? It's an RC card. Like the plastic will work just fine in most situations for what we use them for. It will work just fine. So you have a slew of those things. Talking about spacers, well, what does that look like? Well, if you play an RC, you know, that looks like a servo. Yep, servo spacers. Different thicknesses. You can print them all out. You can see I got thin, thick. There was really thin unless I used it. Yeah, those two are kind of thin. Okay. If you got to shim your servo up, down, whichever way you, mostly up, but if you need shims, very easy, very structurally sound, because you're on that pad with the servo. It's the perfect size. It fits. And again, I didn't have to design this. I found it, and I'm like, oh, absolutely, print. There you go. So you got servo spacers. So you want to get into more fun stuff, the jack stands, okay? Cone. You want cones? If you're into crawling, gate marker. You know, I got to put a little rubber something underneath. I don't know how exactly it's going to work, but I just printed out a couple to see if I liked them. But if you want to do gate markers, there's gate markers. You could get a little piece of vinyl, make numbers, stick a number in the center of it. Another one, click and print, no big deal. And then, of course, because I play with minis, micros, whatever, the micro basically. So the micro, I wanted to scale it down, so I did. All I did was take the percentages down. It's the same thing. I just get in camera here. It's the same thing. It's just a little smaller, and it's on there. It's on Thingiverse free. I have not paid anything for anything. It's up there. You can find it. Okay, people put it up there. Designers put it up. Give credit where credit's due. But designers have all that stuff. So trail markers. Staying with the crawlers. All right, axle stands. You can print axle stands. What else for crawler? If you got micros, that's a tire mount. You know, you can put a little clip in there. I haven't done it, but spare tire mount for your SCX 24. Spare tire mount if you want a bigger one for your 10 scale. I wouldn't go any more than that, but because it's only plastic, got to remember that. But yeah, scale parts. Scale parts are right there. What else we got for scale parts? All right, you want to play with ramps. I have a rubber banded because these are... Damn, I'm not in frame again. These are 2-piece, so I haven't glued them together yet, but I printed these out because they printed a lot better and a lot nicer. More for your scale-looking, fancier stuff. I still got to clean some of the fuzzies off of it. But yeah, ramps. You know, service ramps. They make RTI ramps, all sorts of goodies. If you're into Traxxas slashes, you can print your rear shock tower brace. You can see it's got factory. It has 2 adjustment holes. This is 3. Now this was a rough one. I haven't printed out a good one yet. There's adjustments I'm going to make on this. This was like a test, but just for video-wise. And you see all your shock locations. Then you got extra support here, which this is at a PLA for testing. I'm going to make that at a PTEG probably. But yeah, and then the infill is going to change so it's stronger. That's another thing you'll learn. It's all in good time. If you're running fans, 30 millimeter fan mount brackets, print them out. Yeah, carbon fiber look. Let's see, there's all sorts of ones online, and these take a little bit of, like, you got to put supports on these or they'll tip over and you'll have a mess. You'll have spaghetti all over the top of your 3D printer, but they're body mounts, just small body mounts for whatever you would need to build. If you're into circle track, okay, and you got sprint cars, haha, headers, print your own header. This one's dirty, but yep. And I got the car here just so you can see where the header is, and there it is. 3D printed header. They actually hold up fairly well. I can put this little curtain back where it goes now. So there you go for that circle track thing. This isn't for the slash for circle track unless you go modified or like 13.5 you might be allowed. In the BL2 or your Mud Boss for circle track, they probably are not going to allow you to run something like that, but whatever you need it for, it's there. It's there. You can find the stuff and you can do it. All of this here, I'm not going to go piece by piece. This is an SCX 10 bumper, front bumper mount with a different servo location in case I ran a winch or something different in the front. I printed it as a maybe. I mean, for what it costs to print the stuff, maybe's okay. That's in the PET G. That's a servo mount for a build, for a rear axle. And then if you're just doing basic rear axle, there's another one for the same thing, a little bit different. Body mounts for a certain build. These are more servo mounts, okay? Pretty fancy looking in it. It's got a lot going on there for a servo mount. But what it's for is it's for an axle mounted servo. And this could be used as either a battery tray or whatever you want to use it as. So it's going to mount that way. I mean, if you're experienced in this, the crawling stuff, you'd probably have an idea what that's for. But yep, servo's going to mount up here. Okay, axle mounted servo. Battery fits right in there if it works out. I don't know. I haven't finished the suspension in the truck yet. So, same thing here. Servo doesn't exactly mount to this. This is just going to mount behind the servo, and it's just a tray for your electronics. If you're going to put your receiver on there or whatever have you. Same thing here, except this one is actually a full mount axle, servo, battery tray. So there's different ones. All 3D printed. I think I covered everything I have here. And oh, not everything. Hang on. Wait, there's more. Billy Mays here. No, never mind. Hopefully that's not copyrighted. We're going to be in trouble. Anyhow, Enduro, Trail Walker, its stand. I have to modify it a little bit to fit for my Ecto, but it was on there. I figured I'd print it and see what happened. But yeah, all I had to do was put 8 screws in it, 3mm screws. Done. Got a stand for your crawler. Like I said, you got other stands, axle stands. There's a whole different one. I got 4 of them underneath my SCX 24s. This thing here is pretty cool. I might change the design a little bit. Doesn't fit the SCX 24 the way I like it, so I got to do some things to it, and I just haven't got back to it. But if you have a Red Cat Ascent 18, it is the perfect little thing. It's a wall mount. All right, this is going to mount. Damn, I can't get in frame here today. It's going to mount to the wall. All right, this is a PLA. It's a test one. PTEG is what I'm going to use. It's a little more durable. Takes a little more. The PLA is not bad. It's just a little more brittle. Just to keep a heads up on that. But yeah, if you got a little 18, if I can get my hands on this critter. So these little tabs down here, this is going to hold, damn it, did it again. This is going to hold your remote. And in the truck, it's just going to set on the skid. You're going to mount it. Let me get it in the frame here without dumping. I'm trying to watch my monitor and that at the same time, and I'm like an idiot. I can't do it. So there you go. There's your wall mount. The truck just sits there. I'm not hanging on to it. I'm trying to be careful. So there's that, you know, and my fancy not in frame here. I don't know what's going on today. I'm like, can't keep track of my own self. And one thing I love, this is my favorite thing, and I've made a couple different ones because it's a file. It's a click and shoot, you know, click and print for that matter. But it didn't fit all the sizes I needed. It was actually made for, like, I think 24 to 18 scale, a small tire, 57 to 63mm tire. Well, I'm like, I didn't realize it until I started printing, and I'm like, oh, that's tiny. Yeah, could I use it for my little trucks? Yeah, but I wasn't at that point. I wanted to make it for the 10 scale. So I'm like, well, all right, let's go into Tinkercad. You could probably do it on the slicer, but I expanded it, changed it, measured out my tire width because some tires are different than others. Some are thicker than others, bigger diameter, smaller diameter. Well, without dragging it on, my favorite thing, it's a tire rack that mounts to the wall. There's your holes. You mount that sucker to the wall, you got a tire rack. I think that's nice because you can just organize all your tires and still have fun 3D printing them. Like I got a couple of these racks. As you can tell, I have not put them on a wall yet with half the stuff I made. But of course, I have different sizes. Like these are fatter. These are the wife's tires, trail tires she bought, cheapies. They suck on the rocks. I'll just tell you that right now. Terrible. They are off-brand. I think they're the rock tires or whatever, like rock terrain crawler tires, something off Amazon. The rims are rims I had laying around, but yeah, she bought them. She liked them because they came with a set of pink rims that are on her truck, and the tires are just terrible on the rocks. I'm going to try soaking them. I don't know if it's even worthwhile doing it. I told her, I said, you know what, just keep them. I'll put them on these rims. And if you do a trail run, like our Halloween trail run and stuff like that, throw these on there. That way you're not using your actual rock tires, etc. But anyhow, that rack there is just, it's nice. It is nice. Hold 4 tire, boom, done. Stupid things you can do. Shock mounts. All right, this is my Element Ecto that I mess around. I'll just talk about it over here. Now let's try to do this properly. So, those are the Weiss Coyote tires. This poor thing, it goes through some stuff. It's kind of my test rig. I can laugh because this thing has changed so many times. It's kind of my test rig for a lot of stuff that, all right, let's see if this will work. Well, that'll work. As you can see, an Ecto. If you know anything about an Ecto does not have a 4-link in the back. Well, it does now. It had a 4-link in the front, and I've changed that. As you can tell by the axles, well, those are not Element axles. No, they're not. I had a base camp that was sitting around. It was stripped down to the chassis, and I'm like, well, let's start throwing stuff at it. So I got all different links from different vehicles. There's Ecto links. There's some Amazon links. There's some Axial links. It is a mess. It's got a Vanquish motor and a Vanquish ESC in it right now because I've never put a brushless system in it yet. I wanted to, and then the motor that I was designated for it went to something else, and then it just keeps getting worse and worse. So her tires, I haven't got them off the glued-on rims from wonderful Axial that decides to glue tires on. Everybody else can make a beadlock plastic rim. Axial makes them. Let's put an actual decent tire. These tires work well, and I'm going to go on a bin. We're off 3D already. They work well. It's actually probably one of the better tires out there for rock crawling out of a RTR, a stock tire to come on the truck. They're excellent. And you're going to force me to do the work to break the glue down and save the tire because I don't want to get rid of them. I think they work well. So there's no sense in getting rid of them. I'm just going to have to do a little work. But anyhow, shock towers, that's what we're going to. Let's get back to the main topic here. So those are just Element shock towers. Of course, you got to take them from the aluminum for your old ones, the threaded blocks, put them in new ones. But I wanted to change it. I was making them, and I'm like, you know what? I wonder if there's a 3D printed file for this particular thing I'm looking for. And lo and behold, there it is. So we got that going for us. There is a endless array of things that you can find. Now, some of the search engines, you got to get in there if you're on like Thingiverse or MakerWorld. Thingiverse is very easy to navigate. You just punch in like roughly what you're looking at, get some keywords in there, and here it comes. The sewage flowing pipe is big. It's the best way I can put it. It just comes. It's everywhere on there. If you go like through Yegi's a search engine that will get you everything. Like it'll come from Thingiverse or Thangs or MakerWorld or et cetera, all the avenues and whatever they call that, all your sites that have all these things on there, all your designers and makers and stuff. There's going to be things that there's price tags on. There's not everything is free. Some things like a designer is going to put up there and it's like $2 for the design. It's like designs take time. A lot of people are like, oh, I'm going to pay $2 for a file. If it's something that you're going to make over and over again, yeah, it's not that bad. $2-3 is not that bad. And you're paying the designer's time. Somebody took the time, taking it off of your hands and doing it. Yeah, cool. $2, sure. Even if I made the part one time. But say you break the part, like servo mount. Say you trash it somehow, I don't know how, but say it breaks. Oh, you got to print another one. Now you own the file. Guy made it, you own the file. If you're into the RC pull-in stuff, I don't have anything sitting here for the puller. I printed a few things. I don't know where they're at. Great. There's certain rims for certain width tires that we run. There's stuff on there for a weight, 3D printed weight box for the front. If you're a work stock or 10, 12 pound class, you got weights. There's hitches. Yeah, that's out here somewhere. Let me find it quick. There it is on my chassis that I haven't put together yet. Thinking of pulling stuff. I found it. That there, it's the cheapest pulling class to get into, which is the two-wheel drive slash class. Okay? Yeah, we use the slash for everything. It's great. So you take the back bumper and the back bumper brackets off the back of the slash. Slash has got a rear-mounted engine. Okay? We should know that. If you're in the RC and you don't know how a slash is put together, man, you got to rewind and start your RC hobby over. You got to get a slash. I'm not a Traxxas guy by no means. They own the RTR world, and that's what they have. Their parts are cheap. You break something. I'm not saying they're cheap build quality wise. They're cheap in cost. It's the most economical RTR that you can have a lot of fun with. But the slash we've built everything out of. It's just a platform that is the most economical to take and change, and over the years since the slash has been around forever, okay, everything is out there for it. It's endless what you could do. But anyhow, 3D print. This is a pulling hitch. So this mounts in place of the rear bumper, right in here. That's where the motor is going to be, or the back of your transmission around the motor. And then you put a eyelet, steel eyelet goes in here, possibly 1/4 inch. I never measured my width, but somewhere in that vicinity. And it's just going to be just a little ring, like if you got a screen door and you got the little hook. That little hook ring, that's what you're going to use for your pulling hitch. And that's all it is. 3D printed. Right there. Boom. So you got a hitch. So it's endless. It's absolutely endless what you can do. And again, you do not have to have a top-notch printer. If you're printing exotic materials, if you start getting into your ABS, which now the PC and there's other brands out there that is just as durable, that has the same qualities of ABS type plastic, with less fumes. Some of them, when they get up in there, it gets a little fumey, so you want to be careful if you have it in your house, breathing some of that stuff in. Me, I've been in chemicals my whole life, and I don't care anymore, so whatever, it is what it is. But if you're health conscious, be conscious of what those things do. You're heating something up, so it's going to give off some eminence of something. And PLA and PETG does the same thing. It's not as bad, but I'm not saying it's any healthier for you. So keep that in mind. Ventilation, or have a specific spot you want to do it. Climate controlled is the best thing. But you can make whatever you want to make. I mean, we didn't even get into these other holders that my shock oil bottles in this. That's 3D printed out of silk, which is shinier. This one actually has associated on it. I don't know why I don't have it facing towards me, but yeah, little imprint. It's cool. It doesn't have to be, but it's cool. Even though it's got TLR oil in it. But yeah, holds my shock oil. I printed that out. Well, as you can tell, the color. My parts tray in that was on the same plate. They printed the same time. Whatever you can fit on there, you can print. Just remember, the more stuff that you put on your plate, like if I'm going to be like, I'm going to do jack stands, and I'm going to do this bumper mount, and I'm going to do servo mount, and this, that, whatever, I'm going to do all this stuff. It will, if the stars align, okay, and the 3D printing gods are casting sunshine onto you, we're going to get deep here. No. Everything will go right. But remember that one piece, like say you have something like this little guy here, and it doesn't stick to your build plate, and it knocks over. It will screw up the rest of your printing, because you're going to spaghetti all over here, and it's probably going to drag that spaghetti onto this, and then straight, it can make a mess and ruin all of your build on that plate. So be careful of how much stuff you put on a plate at one time. of different items because it can screw it up. Like the cones, this thing it's a freaking cone. You know what I mean? If it screws it up, it screws it up. And this is actually cheap PLA. I wanted to try Hobby Lobby PLA, the basic plastic that you print with. It's very easy. It's very good starter plastic. The white, I found out, I didn't know they had it. I found out that they carry it. I'm just like, oh, okay. So the wife ran out down the road. She went to Hobby Lobby real quick, which is 10 minutes, 12 minutes, whatever. Maybe not even that. Right down the road, went to Hobby Lobby, picked up a spool, threw it in there. I didn't change a setting, nothing. I just went generic, boom, hit the button. All right, I want cones. I printed one. This might be the first one, I'm not sure. Printed that little sucker out. I mean, it came out fine. There's probably better than half of my freaking prints that I want to have nice. There's no issue. It's not complex, okay? Printed it out, and I'm like, all right, well, might as well fill the build plate. So I filled the whole entire build plate up. So I got like a stack of cones. I don't even know why my purpose. I have no purpose for these just yet, but I'm like, hell, you know what? Hobby Lobby got orange. Let's print some cones. I mean, you could do multicolor with it. It's just you have to beat her to switch the color out on this particular printer. It's a single color printer. I don't need to be fancy with what I do. There's other things if you want to get. Let me dig these out. I might. Oh, there we go. Let's bump the camera and screw up everything. This is actually a wood pallet. Milk crate. This was printed by somebody else because I don't have multicolor or painting. I mean, basically you can paint it. All right, it's a little tedious, but you can paint it. But I mean, you got a steel chainsaw. This is your doodads that I talk about a lot. Put in a milk crate. Wood. I mean, chunks of wood. It's a gas can. These are like your jerry cans. They were a little big, so I didn't really use them. Fire extinguisher. I've used that. There's a different fire extinguisher that's a little more fancy. And then you have a snap-off toolbox. Doesn't open or anything. It's just a toolbox. I had a toolbox that opened. I don't even know what the hell happened to it. Mission for tonight: find the other toolbox. So, yeah, there is then. Whoa, my wood. Yeah, we're not going to go. We'll stop there. Yeah, 3D printing. If you're into this hobby, definitely get one. My printer, you could go. Mine's a FlashForge Adventurer 5M. It's open. I did print out the enclosure and got the enclosure kit, like $35, $40 kit. Not very expensive at all. You don't have to have the enclosure kit. I did it to do it. I just did it. But you could do most all of the stuff you're going to print for this kind of stuff, your PETG, your PLAs. Printer is absolutely fine. It will do TPU. I don't know if it's going to do like the exotics. The tip is different, the extruder and things of that nature. You'll learn that as you go if you're getting into this. But definitely, if you want to expand your hobby, definitely look into one. Like $250 to $300 on Amazon, you can order the thing. Is what I have. I got mine used, so I paid a little less for than that. But it's not expensive to get the unit. You don't have to have $1,000 bamboo or anything of the sort. You can be very budget oriented and print all this stuff. I mean, I'm printing on a basic printer. There's nothing special about it, but it's a good printer. It's a proven printer, and it's very affordable. Tons of people have them out there. If you have any questions or anything, there's a Facebook page dedicated to FlashForge Adventurer. They're out there. Support's there. The people are out there. You can get yourself going. And this stuff here, it's very easy. You just got to order. Here we go with Amazon again. God, I don't want to promote it. Like I want to go to a store and buy stuff. Just nobody has it. It's the world we live in, I guess. It sucks, but anyhow, I'm old school. But you order your PLA, your PTEGs. Try different ones. I have Elegoo. I have I can't think of all the names. Budget ones. Sunlu actually makes very affordable and very decent filaments. It's endless. You're going to go down a rabbit hole of filaments. Just keep to what's basic, what works, and what. You just keep to like Sunlu, Elegoo, the FlashForge stuff. Just keep it simple. Keep it simple, but keep it, cost effective. Be frugal about it. You don't have to have expensive, exotic stuff to do this. You don't. Learn what to build. Learn what to change with your internal that you can't see. What's behind here, because this is an empty box in there. There is some hollow, but you could change settings and make your infill patterns stronger. You can make them smaller, thicker, more infill, more strength, more weight, more material, longer print time, but you get a different part. You can change all that once you get good at it. But yeah, without dragging this on and making a whole ordeal out of it, if you don't have a 3D printer and you're in the RC hobby, whether it be plane, boat, surface, does not matter. Get yourself a 3D printer. You don't have to be $1,000 deep into it. $300 printer will get you going and make everything that you see here with no problems. You just got to get used to the machine. Just play around with it. Definitely look into it. I urge people to do it. I was kind of like against it for a while. Be like, I don't want to get into this crap, this and that, whatever. And then this deal popped up. My buddy's like, yeah, well, I keep looking into it. I'm like, all right, let's see what we can make. And it has snowballed from this just RC stuff to general BS around the house, goofy stuff, wall art, even fishing stuff. I'm printing certain things for my fishing hobby. Yeah, it just it keeps getting worse. So, but definitely look into it. I know it's a cost. I'm not here to promote spending and spend everybody's money. Absolutely not. I'm not getting kickbacks from FlashForge or Bamboo or anybody, Creality and Elegoo, whatever. They're just brands that are out there that if you hear it from me, maybe it's like, okay, I'm going to look into an Elegoo or look into the Creality, the Bamboo, the FlashForge, the list goes on. Those are your main ones. Just get a decent machine. If you want to be reasonably priced and have a very good machine that will print with minimal headaches and just the simplicity of getting into this hobby, look at the FlashForge. I urge it. Bamboo makes a great machine. You're going to pay more for them. Does it make it easier? Do their files print almost perfect every single time? To a degree, yes. I will say yes on a percentage thing. 80% of the time, yes. Makes it really easy. The Elegoo Carbon something, I can't think of the name of it. Great machine. My buddy has it. Great little machine. If you don't want to print multicolor, that's the machine. Because they were supposed to make an AMS unit for it, for multicolor, so you don't have to keep switching them back and forth, back and forth. But anyhow, people that bought them kind of got screwed. Bad deal. But Adventure makes a Pro series. They make the 5M, which is the budget one that I have, which works fine for what I'm doing. I could use the multicolor. They do make a multicolor one. So look into it. Amazon Adventure or FlashForge Adventure series, 3D printers, they're great. Very affordable, and they've been very good machines. So anyhow, we're not going to drag it on. We're going to get the hell out of here, let you guys free up. But look into it. If you're into this kind of stuff and you want to tinker some more or just build parts, try something like, all right, I don't like this. It probably, less the cost of the machine, it probably costs you $1.50 to make this. Okay, out of your machine. I don't know if that machine's calculating electricity or not. I'm not positive on that. But most of this stuff is cheap to make. By the time the initial cost of getting into it is where it's at with anything. Anything has that. We should know that. But once you have the machine and you have a little bit of an array of filaments, start out with black and your gray, your basic colors, just do basic stuff. Then get into your oranges, your blues, greens that I don't have out here. Red, they make filament kits. You could buy like 6-8 rolls of filament for X amount of dollars. Just be careful. I'm going to caution you on one thing when you get on Amazon. There are spools where you could buy like a kit of 8 or 10 spools. And you're going to look at it and be like, oh my God, it's only $40 for 8 spools? How are they getting away with this? I'm stealing from them. No, you're not, because you're getting a spool that is 250-gram spool. It's a small spool. Yeah, you can print 250. 250 is going to go awfully quick depending on what you're printing. Be careful of that. Don't get sucked into that, and then when you get 10 spools that are this big, and you're trying to print something of scale size or something of good size, and it doesn't make it, and you don't have that color left or whatever, they're small. Don't waste your time with that. If you're going to get into printing, get your 1 kilogram spools. Okay, it's a bigger spool. They're going to be pretty good size. dang, 10 inches diameter, 8 inch, I don't know, somewhere in that area. I should have brought one out here. But yeah, just make sure you get a 1 kilogram, 1 kg spool. Roll with that. Do not mess with the little spools. You're going to waste your time. It ain't worth it. Unless you're trying a color or something, but it still ain't worth it. Just run with it. For what it costs, $10 to $20 a spool roughly. Some filaments are a little more expensive. You could be in the 25 area, but you can find deals. Check on Amazon all the time. There's always a deal out there. There's always something that may go on sale. That's like, oh, 4 spools for this, and whatever. Look into Elegoo, look into Sunlu. Check it out. You just go Elegoo or Sunlu, and it's gonna get the ball rolling for you. And again, look into FlashForge. It's a very economical printer that has printed all this, and I have no problems with it. Not everything's perfect, but I have no complaints. It does the job. The purpose-built stuff that's actual parts, things that have to do stuff, and things that just are there for the hell of it, has been nothing but good. So check it out. Definitely get into 3D printing. If you're into this hobby, I urge it. And you're going to find a million, no, I wouldn't say a million, but you're going to find some other stupid uses. Things in the kitchen, things in the bathroom. Endless. So we'll conclude on that. 3D printing, have fun with it. If you're in this hobby, definitely take a look at it. If you want to do that next step and start making things happen that don't normally happen, or somebody else is not doing it and you can. You see where I'm going with that? Be creative. Think outside the box. Do stuff different. Not everything has to be cookie cutter. There it is. So, till next time, folks, I hope you enjoyed this one. I hope you got something out of it. It was a lot of rambling about dumb stuff, but here at Barn Built RC, we're not normal. We're off the cuff, and that's what you get. So, hey, till next time, see ya.